Pioneer DJ's DDJ-REV5 is the latest controller to hit the market, featuring some unique creative tools specifically for open format DJs that I'm excited to show you. Sitting in between the DDJ-REV1 and DDJ-REV7, the REV5 is a creative DJ's dream for a mid-range controller. It's designed primarily for Serato DJ users, but you can see it also works with Rekordbox, which is an interesting move, seeing as neither the REV1 or the REV7 work with Rekordbox. Some of the key new features we're going to dive into later in this review is the new piano play mode, which sounds a bit like this. Stem controls with dual layer modes. Plus a new auto transition button, which is way better than it sounds, trust me. This controller is aimed at the hybrid bedroom and event DJ because it has pro outputs and an intuitive layout for open format DJs who want the turntable style with paddle effects and deck layouts. It works with both Serato DJ Pro and Rekordbox, but I want to make it clear at the start that this is a controller designed specifically for Serato DJ Pro first and foremost. Okay, first let's dive into its performance features, as this is what makes this controller so unique. Serato Stems allows DJs to separate the drums, bass, melody and vocals of a song in real time. Now with dedicated buttons, you have the ability to do this by either muting or isolating each stem. In Rekordbox, this is just split across 3 parts: the vocals, instruments and drums.
So go and tell him again.
I already told him already. Go and tell him again. You know that the flow's so heavy.
Even though stems can be accessed from the performance pad mode, it's nice to have dedicated buttons, so you can combine any other performance pad with stem control at the same time. Individual stems can also be faded in and out using the secondary mode on the EQs too.
So why to pretend?
Raise up your glass to me then. Raise up your glass to me then. Raise up your glass, that matter us. I write the beat.
Designed to help DJs mix between genres with ease, this feature is guaranteed to turn some heads, just like when Sync made its debut on the DJ equipment. However, I think this has been designed very well and has a perfect use case for the target market of this controller. I love personally mixing between genres, and the hard thing is usually having enough hands to manually move the BPM whilst also blending the EQs and then possibly using effects. This feature automates some of that process, which in turn cleans up the entire transition. Let me show you an example. I have a track on the right that's 122 BPM, one on the left that's 107. By holding shift, I can toggle between 1, 2, 4 and 8 bars in length for the auto BPM transition. Let's leave it at 8 bars for example. Then when I hit the on button, it will sync both tracks together and move them both to the target BPM, which is the opposite side, 107. Let's have a listen. 4, 3, 2, 1, on. And you'll see it starts to move the BPM down. I could obviously press play on the opposite side when I'm not tuned. In all honesty, for me, this is a welcomed feature from me and one I'm going to have lots of fun with for sure. Another unique feature that arrives on this controller is the piano play mode. This is again another improvement on the pitch play mode, which still features here, but in piano play mode, all 16 pads become available to one deck and ultimately replicate a piano layout with white keys along the bottom and black along the top. You can change the scale using these parameter buttons. On top of that, you can even choose between 3 different scales using the opposite parameter buttons. The pads turn white to show which ones are in that specific scale. Let's play something. To access piano play, simply hold shift and press roll, and now we're in piano play. It will bring up, as I'm holding shift, the 3 hot cues, and I'm going to choose the 3rd hot cue, for example. And now when I let go, we're in the piano play mode, and all 16 pads become available for this left-hand deck. Now all the bottom row are the white keys on a piano, and the top row are the black keys, and you'll see that some are not lit up because there aren't black keys above every single white key. We can use the parameter buttons here to go down the scales, the octaves, and up to reveal lower notes and higher notes, and then we can use the parameter on the other side to reveal different scales. So there's 3 different scales to choose from. So this would be the major scale, for example, and I can take that note. We can go down the other way. We can change the scale. And this is where you can just get really creative, replaying different melodies. Toneplay has long been a staple in the open format battle world of DJing, and this mode allows DJs to take this a step further and have fun with these kinds of transitions, even with limited knowledge of music theory. Dual deck is a great feature for DJs who make a lot of mashups. For example, I could have a vocal on one side and instrumental on another, and then by using dual deck, I can basically combine them together on one side of the controller. So let's take a quick look at that. Mashups can also be performed easily using this dual deck mode. So for example, I could choose to get rid of the vocal and the melody on the left-hand side, and I could get rid of the bass and the drums on the right-hand side. And then when I play this track, I could then layer in the opposite vocal. And then using the deck move, we hold shift and we move deck 2 to 3, which is underneath. And if I then press shift and this, and go on to 4 decks, you'll see that we've now got control over both channels. If I press shift and undo the dual, it will only control 1. The rest of the performance features are all as expected from a controller of this caliber. There are 8 different pad modes available via the RGB pads on the mixer section, from hot cues to save loops, roll to sampler, scratch bank to pitch play, and of course the stems and piano play modes. This controller has parameter buttons as well, both on the left and the right, so that you can do more and find more parameters for each of the pad modes. The effects are the paddle style effects found on most battle mixers, and they basically control the software effects within Serato or Rekordbox. On the deck section, you can find the usual looping controls, slip mode, sensor mode, key adjustment controls, key lock, and tempo range. The performance buttons along the top of each deck can also be switched from stems to 4 popular performance pad modes, such as hot cues, scratch bank, saved loop, and sampler. The rest is simplistic in design, with full-size tempo adjusts in battle position, the 6.6-inch static, pressure-sensitive jog wheels with a feeling adjust, and a MAGVEL FADER Generation 2 for scratching. Plus it has access to 4 decks across 2 channels for creative mashup mixing. All nice, expected features of something of this caliber. The controller features both balanced XLR and unbalanced RCA master outputs, a balanced 1/4-inch jack booth output, 2 USB-C ports for easy changeovers between DJs, plus a universal USB-C power. The aux input and mic inputs along the rear of the unit have dedicated controls on the front for mic level and EQing, plus aux level. The front also features crossfader curve and reverse switches, plus the headphone output controls. So this unit comes in around the $1,000 mark, which I think is pretty fair for the most part. The things that let this unit down though for me is that it feels more like the build quality of a DDJ Flex 6 rather than a DDJ 1000. And for some reason it doesn't quite feel like a premium product, and I was expecting this to come in around the $800 mark when I first put my hands on it. It's also purely a DJ controller and doesn't work as a standalone mixer, which the DDJ 1000 does, and therefore doesn't have onboard effects, they're software effects, again, which the DDJ-1000 has. But all in all, I don't think you need it to do the things that this controller is designed for, because it's one of the most fun, creative bass DJ controllers I think is available. The additional performance features on here I feel are well thought out and placed on the unit, and the team and I have certainly had a lot of fun mixing on it as it leans into our style of DJing. If you want to see us get creative with it, just head to this video here. And you might have realized that I haven't mentioned much about Rekordbox in this review, as in all honesty, even though it works with Rekordbox and the mappings are about 80% the same as with Serato, it's not designed for that software. Just like how the DDJ Flex series is designed for Rekordbox primarily and not Serato, but still it's nice to see the flexibility between the software across more of Pioneer DJ's products, especially after the news of the acquisition of Serato. I'd love to hear what you think about this controller. I definitely think it's placed well in the market. It's one of the ones that's needed in Pioneer DJ's range, and it sits very nicely. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in another video very soon.